Sagittarius Collective, welcome, welcome. Welcome back. If you are following up from the reading yesterday, I'm Nikki, your local vegan tarotist, and we are going to do a follow-up love reading because yesterday's reading that I uploaded felt more personal or about the individuals in order to make way for this love. And it was titled, "Are you ready for this blessing?" Let's get ready to rumble, so there could be a sporting event. So I want to get more specific about this next love, this blessing that is coming in regards to love. Could be dealing with a Taurus or an earth sign, feminine. Somebody feminine could have run here. All right, the feminine could have blocked the masculine. Let's see what's going on here. And I was getting this let love in. There's a gate, let love in. So maybe something with the 12-12 gate. There's a prime time. Could be dealing with a Leo. There's a prime time, something around the moon, that is going to be an opportunity to open the doors for this. There's a lot of anxiety, fear running. I'm getting deprivation with the feminine side. And we, this feminine here is disturbed of the mind. Their crown chakra is, there's an interference with their crown chakra here because they're not able to, they're getting swept up by the lack of clarity, the not knowing. Could be issues with sleep, right? You could be up quite a bit. Feminines, Queen of Swords. Could be dealing with a Pisces or a Cancer. There was a lot of Pisces energy in the reading yesterday. There's Judgment here. So yeah, there's a difficulty with discerning whether or not this opportunity or this offering is divine or is it a karmic cycle. There was a lot of heavy spiritual, Queen of Swords again, a lot of heavy spiritual development going on in the last reading. Virgo energy, so somebody could be coming out of hermit mode, and just feminines, you may not have been dating or even open to love. You might have had the floodgates closed because we've got this Queen of Swords with two swords. Yeah, there's the Devil with fear, death. So we've got Capricorn, Scorpio, and Leo. So there's Earth and fixed energy there, and then the Hermit and the Four of Wands. So yeah, there was a lot of heavy, it's all major arcana leading up to this Four of Wands, this 11-11 union. The marriage, the vow, the commitment, the building the empire together, bringing your empires together. Could be blending families, or there could be some sort of distance, physical distance between you two that needs to be closed. So it's like a space has to be created. I think a physical space has to be created for you two to come together. So you might live in small spaces or travel around a lot. And so this is like setting up those roots, putting pillars down, cornerstone. Kings of Leon, more Leo energy. Caleb, I think Caleb, Daniel, I think those are the only names I can remember. Caleb, follow will. This feminine is ready to follow the masculine anywhere. Maybe the masculine, maybe vice versa. And maybe that's both of you, vice versa. It's like there's no competitive spirit here. It's just like, how do we make this work? It's very simple. There's not a lot of complication, which is ironic because there's a lot of fear in the thoughts here. But I think this is past energy because that was really picking up on the energy from the reading yesterday. And I feel like those of you who resonated with that reading resonated with it because you knew that there was something pending, something that needed to be, something in a queue. So maybe something with music, or there's like a line waiting, Judgment. It's like waiting at the gates. Something with the DMV possibly, there's like a line, there's a long waiting line. And I feel like that's Spiritually, you've felt like that for a long time, like you've been in hiding, you've been maybe a recluse in this hermit mode, and there's like a fear of, if I ever come back out into the world, is anything going to be available to me? I'm getting it as like available to me. So there's, maybe you're into politics. I am not, but there is like with the food stamps, and benefits being removed or being changed around. There could be something like that in your life going on. Like it's your spiritual world as it is reflected in your physical world. So there could be this sort of like, I was getting this impoverished sense from the last reading. So all of this sort of, it's like once you make the judgment to change your perspective about the circumstances potentially that were around you, or you could just be overwhelmed with like the weight of the world. Maybe you're really, because I was getting a lot of like activism and community service. There's a lot of work that you're doing with all those lines. I'm getting like a soup kitchen, or, it's like where you're waiting, you could feel homeless without this person, or you could literally be struggling with finances, with your environment, your security, your stability. You're feeling very like upended. And maybe that's how you felt for a long time in regards to love, right? Because I'm getting this like line, and you're hoping there's going to be a bed. Is there a bed for me? Is there a room in the inn? So it could be something around Christmas time with the devil here, Capricorn season. Because this fear was attached to that being in hermit mode. And I think that once you get out of that feminines, once you realize you've been through so many cycles of death and rebirth, and this is, Pluto and the sun. It's like you've gone a great distance. You've gone the greatest distance in your spiritual evolution. Whether you know it or not, you've been doing the work, like the planetary alignment, the celestial alignment of your chart. You've been doing that work, whether you know it or not. The types of people you've been dealing with, if you really looked back on it, you would see, oh, I dated this person because of my Pisces placement. I dated this person because of my third house, and I think maybe you're looking into your chart. Maybe you're getting more curious about that kind of stuff. And that could, again, be past energy. While you were in this hermit mode, you were doing a lot of that self-analysis, that self-inventory, and realizing how everything sort of just was pretty magical, even though there may have been times where you were feeling sort of let down, deprived, and like your blessings weren't coming in. It's like once you made the decision to cut out everything, that's the devil, that's root chakra work. It's once you release everything, and it is a sense of letting go versus, doing this. You're not like trying to let the other thing, person, or whatever it is, or way of thinking that you had with all the swords here. There were a lot of like inherited lies that you adopted as truths about yourself that were stopping you from letting love in because you didn't feel deserving of it, because of your perspective, your vantage point. It's like you realized you needed that. You needed to look at the world that way so that you would go into this reclusive mode. All right. You could be seeing a lot of spiders. You may play the fiddle or like be into bluegrass, or folksy music. But yeah, it's like you had to let go of all of these swords. It's that 10 of swords. It's letting down the burden of thoughts. And when there's the sword of truth is the ace of swords, right? This queen, she has 2. She doesn't need 2. The queen of swords only needs 1 because what she says goes. So this is a sense of somebody who didn't say no in the past, who didn't set their boundaries, were scared to set their boundaries, but they did it anyway because we have this major arcana. It's part of your path, so you were gonna do it anyway. I was watching Dr. Sleep. That's such a rough movie. I always have to skip a certain scene. No spoilers. I don't even want to talk about it, so I'm not going to spoil it because I don't want to. But there's, they're vampires, basically. They're like this vampiric entities. And you know this right in the beginning, so I'm not spoiling anything there. And they kidnap children. It's a really, I feel like you're an advocate for children or for the innocent. Again, I am getting a lot of that. it's like you really care about the underdog. You really care about the ones who are not being taken care of. And so there's a very nurturing aspect to you, a very grounded, and you could have a lot of fixed placements or earth placements in your chart. And it's like, so you had to realize you can't do it all. And you may have gotten overwhelmed with that, specifically about whatever work you were doing. You may have been let go from work, or you may have had to let go of this work because it was, you know, and if you've ever worked in any sort of industry, you know, it's all money driven. And so you get kind of defeated, not kind of, but you can get completely overwhelmed, caregivers fatigue, all of those things happen. So I feel like there was, a lot of that. There was a lot of 10 of Wands. There was double 10 of Wands. So I think you and your person both went through this. Yeah, Page of Swords. It's like this masculine's looking at the feminine going, oh my gosh, we're like the same person. But in Dr. Sleep, there's like evil forces, right? These like vampiric, parasitic, disgusting people that are harming children, that have the shine, you know, they have the gift of sight. And so there was a lot of attacks going on, a lot of that energy. But the you know, there's a part where they say, you know, like the outcome doesn't change either way. And it's like evil is advocating for evil. Like nothing's going to change, right? And if you're here because you are interested in veganism, or you are a vegan, you know. Or if you are into politics, or if you work in social services or the healthcare industry, it's like you go in with this intention, but then this like defeatist devil energy comes over you, where it's like, why bother? Pooh Bear, oh, why bother? You know, also Lord of the Rings, you know, Sam, where he's saying there is some good in this world, but because of this journey, because of this burden, you know, the ring bearer, maybe something with the ring bearer, or a ring, it could have been a marriage, you know, that could be the offering that's coming in. And the reading yesterday was a lot about your perspective of love, Sagittarius perspective of love and the divine and what that all means. And the idea of unconditional love, I don't think you've ever felt that before. So there's a lot of discerning whether or not this is a cycle, or like, is there even, you know, you could have had the perspective on love for a long time. Like, what's the point? It never works out. Everywhere I look, people are fighting, people are getting divorced, people are cheating. Like, what's the point? And so this person, this masculine that's watching this feminine, is going to renew this idea of love. They're going to renew this feminine. And they're also going to be someone who respects your boundaries. I don't think your boundaries have been respected. Maybe something in childhood with the Dr. Sleep and with the energy from yesterday. It was a very heavy energy. It was very difficult to get through. A lot of like hush hush secrets. So yeah, you'll know your past. Six of Swords. This masculine wants to rescue this feminine. And see, this feminine is up in this tower. And this feminine might be hyper independent because they've had to be. And so they're like, no, I don't want love. There was a lot of denial in yesterday's reading too. Like, no, I'm going to pretend like I don't want children. I don't want marriage. I don't want a family. And I think that was a reaction and a result of your experiences, either directly and or, you know, vicariously from the ones around you. Looking at them, you're like, and you could have had a very heavy breakdown. You know, there was a spiritual breakdown in yesterday's reading, but I think you could have had like a breakdown about, as a result of, maybe your parents got divorced late. Maybe you lost somebody, and it was later in life. Maybe it wasn't in childhood, but it still hit you just like a child. You know, it's because what's going on is when you see your parents, when you're watching your parents or your guardians or the, you know, your primary caregivers around you, because you know, I do get some of you that could have been raised by non-biological parents, right? Could have been a step parent. And there could be something attached to that. It's like, even when love chooses you, This is specific, but even when love chooses you, it chooses you for the wrong reasons. Sagittarius, I feel like you both have gone through so much with love, and that's why I did such a long reading yesterday, and that's why I'm doing this one, because it's like there is hope. You know, when you go through major arcana, it hits heavy because these are major life changes. They are unavoidable. The outcome doesn't change. This is fate-based. Yeah, this is something that you wished for a long time ago. This masculine wished for you too. And with this dark-haired masculine, maybe the name Aiden, I think he is a Pisces. You had a ton of Pisces energy and mirroring in yesterday's reading. So you or your person could have some strong Pisces placements, something about Pisces season, or your third eye. Seven of Pentacles it's like, and maybe 7 is your lucky number, you know, lucky number 7, 7-11, something in Cancerian season. We have the King of Cups here, and then the 10 of Pentacles. This is so much love, but it reminds me of Practical Magic, where, you know, he says, I wished for you too. And I think that, again, your concept of love seemed so unrealistic to you at some point that you just said, I don't actually want love. I'm fine by myself. Miss Independent. Miss Self-Sufficient. Ooh, there's that 10 of Wands in reverse, coming out of that, like bearing the burdens of other people. You may have been, this is again specific, but you could have been like your parents' little therapist or something. Or maybe you were in between your parents, you know, if they are divorced, it doesn't matter. Some sort of split, or if you lost a parent, I feel like the other parent maybe started to be like, oh, you remind me of your dad, or you remind me of your mom, or oh, you look just like them. And it's like, but they weren't saying it out of affection. It was almost like there's this like mediation thing, and you're a medium. I feel like a lot of you have the gift. You just were never able to use it because of your circumstances growing up, the types of lovers that you were with that were not supportive. Oh yeah, this Emperor's coming in. We got the Emperor here. This is a soulmate. This is someone this is past life. You wished for each other. And I'm also getting, he's a Taurus, Bob, maybe the letter B, B-O-B. Billy Bob Thornton, he's a Leo. But there's more earth, fixed energy, right? With the Six of Pentacles, because with the Judgment here in this like community service, I do get that 6 of Pentacles. Like, you're going to have so much more that you can actually give to others, but you had to stop giving to others, and people probably called you, again, from yesterday's reading, probably called you a bunch of names. You know, it was the hardest thing to let go, to stop over giving, to stop over producing. I don't know what that is. So you'll know that word, because that's like a specific word. So yeah, I mean, it could be the work that you were doing was like factory line. There's that line. It's just like, but that's what your life feels like. So maybe it's in your love life, maybe it's in your work life, but I think it's kind of reflected and mirrored everywhere, because you have some heavy water placements, or with this moon here, again, there's that Pisces, Cancerian energy. And Scorpio, because, you know, Pluto is the moon. It is a moon, but then it's a dwarf planet. And there again is the 4 of Wands. But what happened here? Somebody was being self-deceptive. They were not speaking up their truth here with the Ace of Swords. There's that truth. So it was like you were surrounded by lies, but then you kind of had to be honest with yourself in that hermit mode and go, you know what, I actually, and see the Ace of Swords just fell and turned in the upright. I had to speak my truth. I had to say no. No is a complete sentence. And it's okay if people think I'm selfish, or if people think that I'm self-righteous, or that I think I'm better than them. I don't. So they can think what they want. King of Pentacles, knowing your value and knowing that you're giving your value to places that are not emotionally fulfilling, with that 6 of Pentacles and 6 of Cups. something with the color red. Somebody, your person, this masculine, could be Capricorn, wears a lot of red. You could be a, I was going to say a shifter. Interesting. I'm going to say you could be a shifter, drifter, sediment sifter. Yeah, it's like you guys are like filters for everything around you. So you could be Heoka empaths, but you're very sensitive to the energies around you. These cards are really loud. But I think it's like, I'm a lion, hear me roar. Matriarch of Blades. That's the Queen of Swords. And see, she has a little knife. She doesn't need a big old sword. The silence. No. See, it's like walk softly, carry a big stick. Sick. And I want to say sifter again. Something about sifting through, like mining for gold, or maybe you collect crystals, right? There's something like sifting through the sediment. That's also the sense of the hermit with that Virgo energy, where it's doing that self-inventory and looking through all the sediment, looking through all the debris. You could also be quite minimalist, or just going through some sort of purge where you're cleaning up, and it does become quite, I was gonna say, contagious. So you could be inspiring other people to release themselves from their own burdens, just by watching you, because I feel like you're moving in silence, and you only need a knife. You might carry a weapon with you, right? But it's like you just need this one little knife, right? I always say that because I'm like, as a medic, I was like, I know all the major arteries. So you don't need a giant sword. You don't have to speak loudly, because, you know, this is words and communication. It's like, and with the silence, it's like you can move in silence and you don't have to say very much. Your body language, Ursula. The sea witch, right? The sea witch would be the Queen of Cups, but also with that Queen of Wands underneath too, because there's that dark feminine energy there, where it's like you understand your power. And I think this masculine, because the masculine's over here with very King of Cups, Six of Cups, Seven of Pentacles, Ten of Pentacles. This masculine has done the work. They've released their stuff. And I'm not saying that they're ahead of you or better than you. I'm saying this masculine is more sure of this connection than the feminine, because the feminine has trust issues. But they are not trust issues. They're experience-based understandings, because you have been deceived. You have been deceived quite a bit. And this masculine might be a little bit more pure in their experiences. They may have had like a wholesome, healthy family. They may have a lot of friends around them. They may be doing fine in work, and they might have more stability. With all this earth and water energy, they have a lot of feminine energy. So, you know, could be same sex. Male could be the feminine, female could be the masculine. Regardless, it's such a balancing, I was going to say a balancing act. Balancing would give me like Two of Pentacles, which is more Capricorn energy. It's multitasking. You two work well together. I was getting that image of you in the kitchen, like working on something together. And it's like you're like moving around each other like dancers. The Lovers, it was formerly known as, the artist formerly known as, maybe you're an artist, maybe you changed a name, could be from a divorce. But it's like, what's in a name? Something with roses, a rose by any other name. Smells just as sweet. And I just heard from another reader something about and she said it like it was a fact. I didn't look into it, but it was roses have the highest frequency of the flowers. And I was like, that's great. I love roses. My imaginary friend was named Rose. My first pet, which was a red betta fish, a lot of red here, and something with the fish. Again, it's like this. There's like a combination of fire and water here, because it's like I'm getting this red fiery fish. Also Fantasia, the number 3000. but not the Fantasia 3000 because I haven't watched that nonsense because I don't like remakes and I just don't like remakes or sequels usually. And Fantasia is my favorite Disney movie. And so why am I telling you guys so much about me today? Maybe you're dealing with a Taurus, right? I also have a Capricorn stellium. So, yeah, you may have a stellium of multiple Capricorn. But it is like with that Cancerian energy, Cancer is cardinal water. So it's fire and water. So it's like this, but it doesn't feel like boiling or rage like the last reading. It feels like a warm bath. It feels very nurturing. And there's like an assurance now where the feminine realizes I can protect myself, right? If I start dating and I don't like what they're doing, then I'll just say no. You know, I don't have to give my body. I don't have to give my mind. I don't have to give my cup. I don't have to give in order to be open to receive love. It's like you understand the gates. Also with the Dr. Sleep, right? You could do hospice work, right? Yeah, I am getting a lot of like medical industry. So maybe you've done that, or like caregiver, you could be taking care of a friend or a family member. And maybe that was just always your role. You were just always like the caregiver of everyone around you, but because you wanted that care for yourself as well. And that's why the masculine's coming in with the Six of Swords, Six of Cups. They're coming in to rescue with communication. And yeah, Fantasia where the fish kind of dance around. And it's like this lovely thing. Maybe classical music or orchestral music. Again, you could play that with the, what did I have? The fiddle back earlier. And that also reminds me of the Dance of the Sugar Plum Fairies, because I took a video a long time ago of this spider creating a web, and it was kind of dewy outside, and it was in the middle of the night, and it's one of those, again with the gold, it was a golden orb spider. So, and I did the video with like the Sugar Plum Fairy thing, so it was like ding, 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 you know, and as she was plucking, the spider was plucking to make this, and it was like playing that instrument, the strings. Also, it's like with the red here, the red string, you and this person are so connected. It's like you can almost feel them and hear them possibly in music, but you feel them like that vibration. And so the feminine's feeling the vibration here, and there's also that switch of the masculine drawing the feminine in. How is the masculine drawing the feminine in? Let's find that out. Oh, these all look the same when they're flipped over or not. But I love this deck. It was, if you were here for yesterday's reading, or if not, I'll tell you anyway. I was given at a Sagittarius birthday party. I was gifted for their birthday 2 tarot decks, one of which being this Native American tarot deck. And I love it because I reference that a lot. And Sagittarius, oh yeah, Sagittarius is the owl. It's the Native American zodiac is the owl. So maybe something with owls or birds, birds of prey, binocular vision. You could be going bird watching. The trapper. It's like this masculine's, I'm going to say this is rescuing. Like, this is like the hunter, but this is like someone who knows how to track, right? Because we don't talk about trapping or hunting animals here. We don't do that here. So if that's your bag of chips, you can take that somewhere else. There are plenty of other places for that. This is like the 2 of Wands with the pipes here. So yeah, there's something about a music and the flautist who was playing and the butterfly landed on her and she just kept playing. It's like, I feel that you are tuning back into nature, literally, and your own nature, your inner nature. Maybe you were always kind of like a little strange kid, you know, you were kind of like a little, people thought you were kind of strange. But see, these 2 children here with the 6 of Cups, it's like, you're both strange little kids and you're just going to be strange together. But what's strange to the world is actually normal. Like, all the weirdos unite. This is the island of misfit toys. The wheel, the medicine wheel. It's like the wheel of fortune. It's divine timing, but it's also medicine. It's healing. So I get like the star as well. It's the number 10 and 2. Yeah, the Trapper. It's like I feel like this masculine will go to great lengths, and you could be in different climates, because they are different climates here. This one is snow, this one's a desert, so you could be coming from two different environments. Now that could be metaphoric, to a metaphor for your growing up, your environments that you grew up in. You could be coming from two different worlds, or you could be coming from different parts of the world, and there is a distance. Pregnancy. Maybe the name Mary, but there could be children involved already. And there's the World. Ooh, in the World, he's sitting on the tortoise, which is the never-ending story. 21. There's a lot of 3s here with the 2, the 10, the 21. 4s become the 3. We have the 4. And why does the 4 become the 3? Right, this is the 4 of Cups. So this is somebody who's waiting. Maybe you've waited. Maybe people are like, when are you going to have kids? When are you going to settle down and get married? You're at the kids' table at Christmas parties, and you're like, shut up. When I find somebody that I can actually build with. I don't want to be out there like a single parent. Maybe you are a single parent, and you're like, I'm not just going to invite any, Tom, Dick, or Harry, maybe those names. The Matriarch of Vessels. So there's the Queen of Cups and the King of Cups. And there's this bird here. It's like a heron. There are water lilies. So there's a lot about flowers. Your name could be the name of a flower. Your person could be the never-ending story. And see, these stars are all around them. And see, it's like Atreyu and Artex, when he's like, you have to try. You can't give up. Like, he's falling into the despair. And there could be, I get this like grandmother energy. And this is, it's very matriarch. So elephants could be important to you. But trees, maybe you were like always climbing trees and hanging out in trees. But he's trying to convince this tortoise, and I can't remember the name, if you remember the name of the tortoise, but they refer to themselves as we. So they're like the entity. The entity is also in the show Evil. But with how the 4 becomes the 3 is because 3 is the divine union. It is the Holy Trinity. It's the divine masculine, divine feminine, the divine creation. So I do foresee a child in this. You could be working with children, blending families, or have an actual child. But there is this creation that is going to be because we should be creating human children in order to contribute to the next generation, right? And it's not always the case. So I do get a lot of like nihilistic or what is that, like antinatalism, and I'm not gonna argue with you there, Sag, but maybe this person or you goes by like a shortened version of your name, because earlier when I got Tom, I was like maybe Thomas or Tomas, right? Like it could be, you could have like a shortened name, or maybe you go by like TJ or JR or whatever. But when Atreus, he's like pleading with this entity, this tortoise, like, you have to care. Why don't you care? And like, we don't care whether or not we care. It was like such apathy. And so there could be like this invigoration or something about bringing children or like levity with the hospice. You could work with the elderly community. And so it could be, there's some sort of emergence or convergence of those worlds. This love is so freaking powerful. And you might be like, tell me more about the person. This is their energy. Their energy is so much like your energy. Green. I'm getting so much growth and new, right? I mean, this is kind of a darker green, but the green here, and this is the heart chakra, but the green here, it's like the wings of this angel are green. from judgment. So it's like, once you say, and maybe your response to yesterday's reading was, because it's, are you ready for this blessing? Once you say yes to love, open the gate, let love in. Once you do that, and I was getting a lot of dark humor, something about blood, maybe your blood type. That's very specific, but you could have the same blood type. Where is my dice? Where is my dice? Where are my dice, or where is my die? Come on, Nikki. 6. 6 of Swords, 6 of Cups, right? 6 of Pentacles. There's the rescue by a soulmate. I mean, a true divine soulmate. You created each other. You've done this before. That's why it's like, I don't feel like I need to talk too much about the love, even though I get so much weight and doubt around the idea of love. I feel like that's in the past. It's like, once you open the gate, it's like the blood rushing in. And that might be the sense. Maybe you're doing something where your blood is pumping. You can meet this person at the gym. You can meet them in some sort of dance class with the dancers, which is the Lovers card, which is that Gemini coming in through the gate, because it's my Gemini dog. Something about pigs. Penelope, Jodie Foster. And then if you are a cusper, I get this like Scarlett Johansson, not Ralph Fiennes, Mark Ruffalo, and Jamie Lee Curtis. They are all birthday twins. You and this person could be a birthday twin. Or again, share a lot of the similar placements. You're so... this is your twin. You chose them. You designed them. That's how the divine union is. That's what twin flames are. You create each other for each other so that you can create for the collective. And this love it's got such a great purpose. And I mean great in its truest form. People will just say that word, just like love. Words have lost so much meaning, which is why I feel like there's not going to be a lot of talking about this love. You may kind of keep it separate from other things, or I don't want to say secret, it's sacred. Because it's not like it's some sort of taboo thing that you have to hide or anything like that. But I think it's like the song Delicate by Damien Rice. We might make out when somebody's there, when nobody's there. It's not that we're scared, it's just that it's delicate. This is like such a precious love. But it's so powerful too. It's like, I've only seen that once. I don't really remember if I liked it, but the movie Brightburn, it's like this kid has so much power, and you can always have the choice. You always have the choice to use that power for good, evil, yourself or others, right? And I think because you both poured into others so much, you had to make the choice to put that back into yourself so that you could use it for the collective. Because I feel like whatever you both are doing, you're going to inspire so many people. You're going to be that couple that that you never had to look up to, and that so many people don't have to look up to. Most people don't have like a representation of the type of love that they want. And if you have low self-worth, or if you're challenged with that, then good luck. Good luck believing in anything like that. Taken. Love was taken. Something was taken from you, Sagittarius. You'll know what that means, and we're not going to go too much into that. If you are interested in like a personal reading, you can do that. But wow. I want this love for both of you because you deserve it, and I can feel so much of what you've gone through, and the work that you've done has been all major arcana. Like, you have really done the heavy lifting. So it's not just like, oh, you've earned this, you're a good person. It's like, you understood the motherfucking assignment, Sagittarius, and you did what you had to do. And I was really getting into like twin flames and like what that means and the spirituality of that. So I think you maybe have a different idea of what love is, what soulmates are, and all of that. This person mirrors that perfectly. You mirror each other perfectly. You want the same things. You know the same things. You feel the same things. You dislike the same things. I feel like you're so... and I was getting that sense that you could, again, come from different worlds. So there could be height difference, age difference, cultural difference, racial difference, again, same sex, or, there could be a quite masculine female and a quite feminine male. Is something about you two on the outside where it doesn't fucking matter, and you've come to that realization? Because I think that you, out of your curious nature, Sagittarius is naturally curious and inspired and always wanting to try new things. I think other people didn't understand why you were doing that. It's like there was an intention. There was a method to your madness. And you were kind of like exploring parts of yourself through other people. And, maybe you did that in a way that was a little bit more low vibrational for a while, using substance or casual connections or whatever, because it was that sort of nihilistic, nothing matters, so why should I do anything different? Why should I care? Why should I try? And then one day you were just like, because I don't have a choice. I don't have a choice. And that anger from yesterday's reading is like, I have to change this. I have to change myself. I have to change the people around me, the things that I'm doing, the ways that I'm thinking, all of that. So I really want this for you guys, because whoever stuck through these readings in the Sagittarius collective, the collective I'm talking to, is, you've really earned it. And that's not just for me. I'm rooting for you because I can see and feel the work that you've done. But that is from universe and the collective. It's like, yes, like the whole collective is rooting you on because the whole collective needs this love. No pressure. No pressure, Sagittarius. So yeah, are you ready for this blessing? Because the world's ready. All right. I hope there was something in here for you, Sagittarius. And thank you for your time, your patience, your energy, for sharing your energy with me, because this is the type of energy that I love to tap into, even though it sucks at first. But it's like it helps. When you heal those things in yourself, you help the others around you to heal those parts of themselves. It's a beautiful energy to get in and get to the bottom of something and work through it and grow from it and see true change in individuals and in the world, for the highest good. So, well, so until next time, I wish you well.